Hi everyone, welcome to another video for New World. In this video, I am going to be outlining one of the biggest problems that, in my opinion, currently exists in New World. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say 90% of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed to the channel, so please do subscribe, turn on those notifications. I do stream regularly, and that's one way you can find out when I'm streaming, and you can join in and talk and chat and chill. So without further ado, let's get into the video. And like I mentioned, we are going to be talking about one of the biggest problems that exists in New World. Right now, we're in Windsor, and we need to head to the top northeast corner of the map there for our first quest. And as you can see, I've already unlocked some of these travel points in most of the map, but I don't have anything in this area yet. And for the Perils quest, I need to travel to the Shrine of Sisyphus, because that is the closest point I can get to the area that I need to go to. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to transport over there or teleport over there. And once I'm there, the only option I have is to run to my quest. I don't have any other way to do it. And the biggest problem in New World right now is this. So when you're playing the game, once you get past a certain level, let's say 10 or 50, maybe even 16. Like 16, I think, is about where it is. But once the Brimstone Sands comes out, that's going to change slightly. I think at that point, it'll be post level 25 that you have this issue. And this issue is that you're going to be spending 80 to 90% of your time running from a quest to quest giver, or running from one point in a quest to another point in a quest. And 10% of the time is where you'll actually get to enjoy the game. That's doing things, or mining, or farming mats. But the majority of your time, even with resource farming, the majority of your time is going to be spent doing exactly this, running from point to point. And maybe 10%, maybe even as little as 5% of your time when your resource farming is going to be spent farming those resources, unless it's something like trees or lumber or wood. Other than that, gathering, metals, everything else, you're spending the majority of your time running. And that's why this game's been called a walking simulator. And with the Brimstone Sands update, that is going to change for the first 25 levels, but it's not going to change for the grind. And the grind's actually going to get a little worse because you won't be able to do things like your town boards anymore. So to address that issue, I think the mounts are necessary. I know a lot of people are against mounts because they don't think it's necessary. You can run around the world, and the only reason you would want to is you might find the materials, like for example the hemp there that I just ran by. I didn't grab it because my focus right now is to show you guys how long it takes for me to get from point A to point B in this game. So since we started running, it's been about 3 minutes, not even, maybe 2.5 minutes so far. And I'm still a ways away from even the settlement, which I need to get to create another point of interest for myself, or point of teleport. And that's why I think mounts are going, or should be implemented into the game. I know people are against them, a lot of them, and the rationale there is they don't think it's necessary. They think that there are other things that AGS should be fixing before they get into anything like mounts. But I disagree with that. I think mounts would solve one of the biggest problems that exists in New World, and that is this downtime between things that you're doing in this world. The world is beautiful, don't get me wrong. Running around in it is fun to an extent. But when you're spending the overwhelming majority of your time running around versus actually doing things, the game gets very boring. And I think that is part of the reason that the retention problem exists as well. Now imagine if I had a mount, like a horse, or even a boar, or like a wolf, or a bison, or a crocodile. Crocodile probably not the best, but they are pretty fast in this game, so maybe that would work. Now imagine if I had that, and I could ride said mount from a shrine to a new point of interest. I'm level 46 at this point. So for me, I think at this point in a new world, you would have some mode of transportation other than your legs, if you've been there for an extended period of time. And the shrines are great once you unlock them. But if you don't have them already, like I said, you're spending the majority of your time running around, and it's boring. It's very boring. Unless you're running in a party, unless you're in endgame, it's boring. And for the vast majority of New World, I think you will be spending time alone because you're trying to level up, and the fastest way to level up is through quests, and quests require the most amount of running. So that's why I think the argument can be made that mounts would be a great addition to the game, and they would result in people enjoying it more. And you wouldn't necessarily need to travel only on roads. You might be able to experience the world even more. You might explore more on your own. Because right now, the only thing that you can do is run on a road because you get a speed buff. If I was running off of the road, it would take me even longer to get to a new point of interest, unless I was going mad shortcuts. And that's very hard to do because there are a lot of cliffs in this game that are impassable. You can try climbing them, but then you're just wasting time rather than running along a path that will get you there guaranteed. And another thing with respect to mounts is they can be used in other ways. They don't necessarily need to be added to just allow for travel. And I know AGS has mentioned in the past that they don't think Eternum is big enough to allow for mounts. I disagree. I think Eternum is big enough mainly because of the fact that 80 to 90% of our time is spent doing nothing. But if we had a mount, for example, that could add to our carrying capacity, just with a bag or something like that, or a few bags to put mats on. Thinking Arc here, where you can actually put stuff into your dinosaurs for carrying purposes, then it does serve a decent purpose. And I know Arc is pretty big, but at this point, you could then farm longer. So the mount would serve a dual purpose. It could give you a slight buff in speed when running off road or riding off road, depending on what you're doing and what type of mount it is, and also adding to your carrying capacity, so you can actually go and do more before having to go back to town or to a settlement. Another thing that mounts would be very good for is cosmetics. Right now, the cash store in New World offers cosmetics for players and their armor, with transmog hopefully coming in the future, and I will do a video on this as well, or even just sets that you can equip for certain builds. So different varying sets that you can have in your inventory. That would be nice as well. I think they are implementing those soon. I don't know when that will happen, but I think they did discuss that. We have a dev video coming out, I think today. So hopefully we'll get some more color on that as well. But back to the mounts, the cosmetics, AGS could definitely put in hundreds of cosmetics for varying events. I mean, think about the ability to ride a horse in this game to get from point A to point B, and then you have a option to get a skin through the Halloween event that's going to be coming that gives you a undead horse skin or something like that, a corrupted horse skin or something cool like that, or a legion horse skin, because the Brimstone Sands is going to be out at that point as well. So that would be pretty epic. I mean, I would definitely want that skin, and I would grind hours and hours to get a skin like that for my mount. So it's not just about the world is not big enough. It's about giving players something else to look to do, and also to make their experience more enjoyable in the new world. I can only farm iron, silver, gold, mithril ore so long. I need something else to do other than running for the majority of my time in game. And I'm only level 46. I can only imagine what it's like for players that are already in endgame. They're probably, I know a lot of them spend most of their time just PvPing outside of settlements. And I know a lot of them spend their time doing wars and mutations and so on. If they had other things to do, like ride around in New World, I think that would be pretty fun for them. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe some of you can chime in the comments and let me know if that's the case. I'm just assuming here. But I think mounts would be a very welcome addition to the game. Obviously, it's not a top priority currently. I would like it to be near the top though, considering I am having a hard time, you know, enjoying my leveling experience to get to 60. And I've been grinding, but it gets so boring just running from point A to point B that I spend most of my time just chilling and RPing or randomly chatting with people in Windward or other settlements that they, respond in. So yeah, I guess that's the plus side of not having mounts as well. People do interact more in settlements, but it's just a silver lining, I guess. But yeah, I think those are the points that I wanted to make about mounts, at least right now. If I think of other things that I want to say about them or add about them, I will make another video, an update video on this. But like I said, let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on this topic and what you think about mounts. And if you're going to say no mounts or yes mounts, provide a reason. I mean, that's the only way I think AGS will listen. Although I know they've said that they will include mounts eventually, and we might be getting them with Brimstone Sands because that area is massive, and it definitely needs something to be able to traverse the area quickly. And there are new creatures that are being introduced, like scorpions and so on, in Brimstone Sands that would make for pretty cool mounts. So I can see mounts hopefully by the end of this year, but I don't have my my hopium all up there. But it's a hope that I'm clinging to that we will get to see mounts before the end of the year, maybe in some Christmas skins for them. But yeah, that's essentially it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. And like I said, please do comment in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to respond to as many of them that I can. And other than that, be on the lookout for more videos related to New World on the channel. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one.